Coming up tonight, authorities continue trying to contain the Gel River blaze, but firefighters say at this stage it's showing no sign of easing. Actor Kevin Spacey faces court accused of indecently assaulting an 18-year-old. Meanwhile, a British court has heard how a young Australian cricketer allegedly raped a sleeping woman. Labor's proposed changes to welfare slammed as being soft. Find out why Tasmania is being hailed as the new tourism hotspot for younger travellers, and why Roger Federer has broken down in an emotional TV interview. Join us at 6 for all the day's news, sport and weather right here. Tonight, why authorities say the Gel River fire shows no signs of easing. Police confirm there are no suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of a Launceston baby. The Australian cricketer facing a British court accused of rape. Why thousands of hipsters are flocking to Tasmania. Tributes flow after the death of entertainment legend Jimmy Hannon. And an emotional Roger Federer opens up about the earth-shattering moment that changed his life.
Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Authorities are making the most of calm weather conditions to strengthen their efforts against the large bushfire burning in Tasmania's remote southwest wilderness. But by the end of the week, conditions will have again deteriorated, ensuring there's no end in sight for firefighters.
Spanning more than 20,000 hectares through once pristine Tasmanian wilderness, this bushfire is keeping authorities busy. Local communities still advised to remain vigilant. Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania Police says the death of an infant in Launceston last month is not being treated as suspicious. The state government would not comment on the involvement of Child Protection Services in the case. Police have confirmed the 3-month-old boy died on December 30. A British court has heard how a young Australian cricketer allegedly raped a sleeping woman days after setting up a sex competition with his mates. Alex Hepburn's alleged victim said she knew it was him because of his distinct accent.
Alex Hepburn moved to the UK for his career, but according to prosecutors, the game he played had nothing to do with cricket. In Worcester, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
Disgraced actor Kevin Spacey has pleaded not guilty to indecent assault during his first appearance before court. The 59-year-old smiled through a crush of cameras as he walked in, but didn't look so happy on his way home when he was pulled over for speeding.
From big screens and stages around the world to a one-man show in Nantucket. In Nantucket, Massachusetts, Paul Kadak, 7 News.
Labor is being slammed as the welfare class party over its plans to relax the demands on those looking for work. It wants to reduce the number of positions some job seekers have to apply for each month, warning the current system is wasting employers' time.
To compete in the job market, Labor says job seekers need patience over punishment. Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
The state government has once again come under fire as another week passes without the release of crucial housing and human services data. The public information was due to be updated around 3 weeks ago, but it's still nowhere to be seen. It includes data on the number of children in out-of-home care and people waiting for public housing. But the government says it's a logistical issue stemming from changes to the department.
That will be dealt with in the fullness of time, but that is a completely new department.
Experts have today revealed Tasmania is fast becoming the new tourism hotspot for younger travellers. Last year, thousands of 25 to 35-year-olds, known as the hipster generation, stopped by the state keen to taste and see what all the hype is about.
A toast to Tasmania's booming tourism market. More young people than ever are now choosing to holiday on the island.
Travel's not seen as a luxury anymore, it's a necessity, and escaping that lifestyle and coming to a place like Tasmania to recharge and reconnect.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in our broadcast tonight, a family of 5 tragically killed in a shocking head-on. Why the Russian president has brought out the big guns. And millions on the line as the state saddles up for the summer racing carnival.
Tasmania's #1 news, morning, evening.
And now, late night. Join me for the latest from 7 News.
Every night at 10:30.
Welcome back. Some of the largest truckloads ever transported in Tasmania will take to the state's roads tonight as construction for the new Granville Harbour wind farm gets underway. 96 sections of wind turbine tower, each weighing around 146 tonnes, will make the trip from the Burnie port to a nearby holding facility. Contractors are hoping it's a case of fourth time lucky as they once again attempt to lift the middle of Hobart's embattled Bridge of Remembrance into place. The Hobart City Council today revealed a new plan to complete the lift between the evening of January 18 and early morning on the 21st. The Tasman Highway between Brooker Avenue and the Tasman Bridge will be closed completely during this period. The pedestrian bridge was due to be completed by November, but several delays left it considerably behind schedule. Trainers and jockeys will be chasing up to $3.8 million in prize money at this year's Tasmanian racing carnivals. The season will officially kick off tomorrow with thousands of punters and the sharply dressed expected to saddle up for the Devonport Cup.
The turf is ready and so is almost $4 million in prize money. Racecourses like these will soon be teeming with thousands as Tassie's racing season kicks off.
And Tom Johnson will join us for more of the day's sport news later in the bulletin. With the Aussie one-day squad assembling in Sydney, determined not to let India cruise to another victory. The Hobart Hurricanes' perfect streak comes to an end. And the Socceroos Asian Cup injury crisis deepens. Tom will have those stories shortly, but first, after the break, we take a look back at the day's top stories. And then how luck was on the side of a young man who dropped $10,000 in the street. And what a French tennis player has to say about the perfect pastry. Welcome back. These are some of the stories making headlines tonight. Authorities continue to battle the Gel River fire, which shows no signs of easing. Police confirm there are no suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of a Launceston baby. An Australian cricketer faces a British court accused of rape. And thousands of hipsters flock to Tasmania. Following yesterday's win, French tennis player Pauline Parmentier has enjoyed a sugary celebration. Today visiting a Hobart patisserie to learn more about her own cuisine in the lead up to tomorrow's round 2 match.
The taste of success.
Very good. It's very, very good.
French sensation Pauline Parmentier putting the finishing touches on the food she knows best.
A large great white shark has been spotted lurking behind the break at a popular Sydney beach. Swimmers were told to get out of the water when the shark was sighted in the shallows off Tamarama. We'll now look at the day's business and finance news thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. Another day of gains for the Australian share market has traders wondering if the 4-month downtrend is finally over. The ASX 200 index has risen by 39.2 points, and a short time ago the Australian dollar was trading at 71.26 US cents and 77.5 Japanese yen. Sport is next with Tom Johnson. Good evening, Tom. There's been a thriller in the Women's Big Bash.
Well, you don't get this too often, Rach. The Canes have gone to a super over to decide a winner. We'll have the final moments from that game after the break. Also coming up, the battle between the two bad boys of Aussie tennis is set to begin. And how the Mersey Yacht Club went from the brink of ruin to holding a world-class sailing series. Hello again. The Hurricanes' fairy tale start to the Big Bash season has come to an end. A 112-run stand between George Bailey and Ben McDermott ensured the side still posted a reasonable total, but the Melbourne Renegades chased it down without too much trouble to hand the Hurricanes their first loss of the season.
There was an early infliction of pain on the Big Bash Invincibles.
And a big shout for caught behind.
The Australian cricket team has reassembled in Sydney, desperate to salvage some pride in Saturday's opening one-dayer against India at the SCG. And after guiding the Renegades to victory over the Canes last night, Aaron Finch says being dumped from the Australian Test team was a blessing in disguise.
Having danced their way to their first ever Test Series win on Australian soil, India's attention now turns to Saturday's one-dayer at the SCG.
The Australian Open may be less than a week away, but the attention of the tennis world will be fixed squarely on Kooyong tomorrow when Nick Kyrgios and Bernard Tomic face off for the first time. Tomic believes he can play on tour for the next 10 years and says good friend Kyrgios is struggling mentally.
A relaxed Bernard Tomic isn't expecting a long 2 weeks at Melbourne Park.
Probably another third round, fourth round like I've done 100 times earlier.
There's been a boil-over in the Hobart International, with unseeded Swiss player Belinda Bencic knocking out last year's finalist and second seed Mihaela Buzanescu. The gutsy 4-6, 6-3, 7-5 win lasted more than 2.5 hours on court.
She's landed it and she's got the win, and what a relief it is.
And after being wiped out by devastating floods, the Mersey Yacht Club has shown the world what it's made of after hosting a top-quality field for the National Laser Championships. Sailors from around a dozen countries joined the local contingent on Bass Strait for the final day of racing today.
Loaded with laser boats, it was sail to sail at the mouth of the Mersey.
Yeah, beautiful pictures. And that's all in sport, Rach.
Yeah, it looked like a lovely day. Thank you for that, Tom. Well, Peter Murphy will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. The northeast found the warm weather today. Fingal, the high with 29 degrees. Hobart and Devonport 22 degrees. Launceston 23 and Burnie 24. Now the Bureau take these readings at 3 o'clock, so a few districts did warm up late this afternoon. St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Ouse all on 27. Grove 25. Flinders Island 21. King Island and Strawn 20. Some high level cloud moved over the state in northwesterly band ahead of a cold front which has that cloud moving over the west coast. Cold unstable air follows that front over the Bight. An inland trough over New South Wales has developed thunderstorms, and ex-tropical cyclone Penny is generating a massive cloud further up the coast. Cloud also with the trough over the tropics. Tomorrow the cold front moves off as the high over the Bight becomes more dominant. The broad area of low pressure remains over the mainland. West to southwesterly winds tending westerly in the morning, reaching 30 knots at times over the west, south and northeast, and even 35 knots later over the southwest. Swells to 3 metres in western and southern waters. So in that southern district we have a gale warning from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for remaining waters with the exception of the northwest coast, and a small craft wind alert for the lakes. Hobart partly cloudy and 19 tomorrow, just 18 for Geeston with a possible shower. Bothwell 17 degrees. Launceston, partly cloudy, 11 overnight, 22 the top, 20 for Devonport. For Cup Day, a nice day for Speed Force to win the Cup, 22 for Cressy and partly cloudy. For Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy and 18 degrees, 17 for Strawn with a few showers, partly cloudy on King Island, Curry 18. St Helens, an early shower or two and 22 degrees, 22 also for Swansea and partly cloudy, Orford 20. And as we look at the UV, it's only 10 for Hobart, but that's still very high, extreme for the rest of the state. To Thursday, a shower over the west and south clearing, fine weather elsewhere. Fine on Friday apart from possible showers over the north and east, light winds tending northeasterly, and on Saturday a warmer day with a few showers contracting to the north coast. A sunny 34 in Perth tomorrow, early cloud over Adelaide, a light morning shower in Melbourne, a possible storm for Sydney and 25 degrees, and a shower in Brisbane. Hobart partly cloudy and 18 at the moment. Launceston the same, but 22 degrees and partly cloudy in Devonport and 21. You won't see me tomorrow night, Rach. I'll be spending my cup winnings from Devonport.
Oh, good luck. Have a drink for me at the end. Thank you. Well, that's all your news for now. We're back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.